Let's fucking go. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 1138 of One Piece. Once in a while, ever since like the ending parts of Wano, One Piece has like had these certain episodes, these very specific episodes that feel like an event, that feel like something bigger than anything we've gotten in the rest of this series. And this started with episode 1000. Obviously, episode 1000 was this big special, and it was like this really big deal, and like showing like the little like character cards with all the characters shown through their flashbacks and their backstories, and showing them all come together in the way that it did was so special. It was also such a big deal because it had a unique opening. It had a remake of the first opening done with like modern animation, modern designs, modern characters. It was just this really big event that was, built up to for a long time. And then you had episode 1015, which was a masterclass of animation that most people I've seen have said is probably the best episode of the show to date. In terms of its animation, in terms of its hype, in terms of excitement, the color work is phenomenal. It's so good. And episode 1015, the events that happen in that are actually chapter 1000 in the manga. So it makes sense that they would put a lot of extra effort into that. After that, you also had the episode where Gear 5th first debuted. Obviously, this massive event. It's Luffy's peak, right? It's his greatest strength. It's his awakening. The full power of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika is unleashed. It's legendary. It broke the internet. I think it actually shut down Crunchyroll for a little bit. It was so huge. It was one of those just moments in anime that will be remembered forever. Last episode was one of these moments. Last episode was another one of these episodes that was that special. The way it was expressed, the way the episode was animated, was designed, the way that it was like, the opening was integrated. Kuma's punch mirroring Luffy's punch of St. Charlos on Shabandi, which is, directly relevant to the backstory as well. Everything worked together so well to like create this masterclass of animation, this masterclass of storytelling, this masterclass of character work. It is genuinely one of the best episodes of this show. And with a series that is, over 1,100 episodes in, that's saying something. Like, having a top 10 episodes for One Piece is fucking difficult. Because you have to cut down that much. It's really difficult, and it's actually something I've struggled with. I've struggled with the idea of making a top 10 list, and it's like, how do I figure that out? I would have to go through everything. And like the only thing I can even think of is like, okay, think of like the moments that really stood out to me. And it's like I can think of like, again, these episodes, 1000, 1015, whatever the episode number was where Luffy first went Gear 5th. And then last episode, 1137. It's like, these are the episodes I can think of with that. But it's like, what else do I include? I mean, maybe you can include the episode where Luffy puts his hat on Nami's head and says, of course we'll help. And then there's the walk to Arlong Park. Phenomenal episode, obviously. There's the episode where Luffy punches St. Charlos in Shabandi. Or even the episode in Shabandi where the entire crew is separated. That's a big deal. You have like the episode where the crew reunites after the time skip. You have a lot of big episodes, but it's hard to like really narrow it down still. Because there's other moments that like may not be as big like within the fandom, but might be big to you personally, and it's just like ah. But last episode is definitely one of those episodes that is one of the best, like without question, not even a debate. Um, it's just it was that good. And now that Kuma is here, he's saved Bonnie, he's punched Saint Saturn, and interestingly enough, we have found out that he somehow survived being blown up by his self-destruct switch. Because after he was taken by the Revolutionary Army, Saint Saturn pressed the self-destruct switch, we find out. Which we didn't know about. We only found that out last episode. Yeah, we know he didn't blow up, obviously. So how? Is it something that Vegapunk did? Is somehow his humanity, the tiniest remnants of his humanity, somehow stopping that? I have no idea how that would even work, but we've also found out like the truth behind Bonnie's devil fruit. Like we found out exactly what her devil fruit does and why she can manifest Luffy's powers. She can manifest any possible future that she can see happening, as long as it is believable and possible to happen. She can manifest it, which means like yeah, there is a legitimate possibility that she could end up getting the Hito Hito no Mi Mono Nika, which is that's how she can use Nika's abilities. But again, by that logic, she could use any devil fruit ability. She is OP as fuck. Like genuinely. She could use any form of hockey to any degree. She can practically do anything. Like as long as it's like believable, reasonable, realistic to happen. It's like she is exceptionally powerful. The thing is, she's also a 12-year-old girl. I don't think she's going to know how to use that to her full advantage right now. Like, don't get me wrong, she's used it to her advantage in a couple of occasions, and she's obviously made a big name for herself as a pirate, being able to, like, become one of the worst generation. But she's still 12. That's just undeniable. She's a kid. She's getting through on this, not by luck exactly, but she's getting through with this, like, surprisingly well. And we've already seen that her mindset, let's be honest, is very much childish still. She is very much still a kid at heart. So, it's like, she's not going to know how to fully take advantage of her powers. But it's going to be interesting to see if she does, like, if she is, like, maybe inspired by Kuma, by her father's return, and is, and is able to unleash more. Because it depends on also her belief in that future. If she believes she's going to die soon, her powers are useless, as we saw when she tried to attack Saturn. She has to believe that that future is going to happen as well. So as long as she has that hope, which her father's return would absolutely give her, you would think, she should be good. We also have, like, practically confirmation that Kizaru fed Luffy, which is really interesting. And we know Kizaru is not as bad of a guy as we might have thought, because we've seen him through the flashbacks and everything. But he is still loyal to the Marines and the world government, so it's interesting that he would actively feed Luffy. But, I mean, it makes sense that he doesn't like Saturn. Like, it makes a lot of sense that he wouldn't like Saturn. He's, like best friends with Vegapunk, basically. And he liked Kuma as well. He was really close to Kuma, too. It's like, yeah, I could understand he would hate Saturn, so he's covertly, secretly helping to kind of turn the tides. But, like, publicly, he's still going to, you know, be an admiral. So there's a lot you could say about that, but at least he's doing something to help. You know, there's something. I'm just very curious to see where this is gonna go now, because he's punched Saturn. He drew blood punching Saturn. But we know Kuma's not all there. He's there enough to be able to get here, to be able to do this, to be able to protect Bonnie. Like, it's just his fatherly instincts kicking in. But we know he's still mostly gone. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens following this, and how Saturn deals with this. Because we know he's not defeated yet. So I'm very curious to see what happens next. But let's just get into it and find out. Let's check this out and hope for more awesomeness. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Maybe instead of Spider Geezer, we should call him Spider Bitch. Because he's certainly acting like one right now. Like, he's so, like... Let's be honest, he's so scared of everything that's happening between, like, Nika, between Kuma having the blood of the Buccaneers and still being alive somehow, Vegapunk just, you know, studying the secrets of the world. He's so running scared, just like the rest of the world government, over this, that he's just gonna, like, call a buster call on this place and just try to wipe it off the map, just like they've done with other places in the past. It's really fucking petty and stupid. And it's funny because, like, the Gorosei and the Celestial Dragons in general hold themselves, like, so high above, like, the rest of humanity that they don't even consider themselves human. They consider themselves basically gods in their own right, and that humanity is literally beneath them. But they're literally, like, acting on the most human emotions possible, making the most petty human, reactions to things. And it's like, you're acting as human as you can get, in the worst manner, mind you. But it's like, how can you not see yourself as human when you're this fucking scared of a 19-year-old boy, of an old scientist, and a barely functioning cyborg? He's that scared. It's like, Jesus. And mind you, I'm sure, just like with probably any of the Gorosei or any of the Celestial Dragons, like, this is what he was taught to believe. He was kind of raised into this, but at his age, and who knows even what that is, he's still responsible for his own actions and his own stupidity. And so it's like, this is on him. It's crazy. And we know the real threat, the real, like, big bad is still Emu. But it's like, we do need to take care of this. The only thing is, how? How do you take out someone who can regenerate so completely? It has to be the brain. You have to take out the brain, right? If you destroy the brain, sure that will completely destroy the person. That's the only thing I could think of, because they can't regenerate from that otherwise, I would assume. If he can regenerate, and I assume the other Gorosei can regenerate from having their brain destroyed, they're unstoppable. You can't do anything to them. You can't defeat them. I have no idea how we're gonna stop this at this point. The only thing we can, I guess, hope for is that he leaves. That he just like pieces out, because Buster Call's already been called. This is gonna be another O'Hara, another Eni's Lobby. It's just gonna go down that way. And so he's gonna leave. Kizaru's gonna leave, and the others are gonna have to try to get off there before they're killed, which we know they'll somehow do. But I don't know how this is gonna go. And I feel like it goes without saying at this point, but I do have to say it. Do not spoil me on that. Do not spoil me. Like I said, like I always say, I do know some things going forward, just because the One Piece community is absolutely horrific with spoilers. They will just spoil everything the instant a new chapter even has leaks go out. They will be sharing that everywhere, as if they expect everyone to just do that. Some people actually like to go into things without being spoiled. So it's just I do know some things, but I don't know the context behind them, and I don't know everything. So it's just better to not spoil anything in the comments. So please don't tell me anything, because I might not know it. And even if it is something that I know about, someone else who's watching along might not know it. So don't spoil anything. But yeah, I really wish we got to see Kuma smile there when he was holding Bonnie. I mean, I guess he shut down after he embraced her. It seemed like he the shutdown fully came into effect. Somehow his humanity, something to do with the Buccaneer race, I guess, according to Vegapunk, allowed him to push through enough to save and get to Bonnie. That was the last little bit he had, and he's completely shut down now. But yeah, it's he was unable to smile, which adds to the tragedy of it. But I really wanted to see it, man. I really wanted to see it. But Atlas is doing good, taking him away to safety. And yeah, it's crazy at this point. I love, by the way, that Sanji and Frankie, without hesitation, just attacked Saturn. This is a Gorosei. This is one of the big guns. This is beyond their level, and they know that. They absolutely know that Luffy's not even strong enough to take on a fucking Gorosei right now. But they still, without hesitation, attacked him. Because they wanted to save Bonnie and Kuma. Because they saw that as a priority. And so that's all they needed to know. They acted out of, common decency. Something Saturn wouldn't know much about, but still. We did have a lot of flashbacks in this episode. Well, a lot of callbacks to the flashbacks, really. But it made sense. It makes sense to go back to that with Bonnie, talking about it with Kuma there. Even if Kuma was already shut down, he probably still heard, I would assume. Hopefully, maybe, probably. I don't know where this is going at this point. How are we going to stop this Buster Call? How are we going to stop Saturn? And even if the Buster Call and everything is stopped, you know full well that Emu would just do to Egghead like he did to Lelouch, and just nuke it. He would. he would absolutely just fucking nuke it like he did with Lelouch. I'm so glad that Sabo was able to save those people, by the way. I am so happy about that. But yeah, it's like I just worry, and I just have no idea where this is going at this point. But I'm loving it. I'm here for the ride. I'm enjoying every moment of this. I am like so invested, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So yeah, tell me what you thought in the comments below of this episode of One Piece. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.